Hello everyone, this is part 9 of What If Naruto Failed and Chose a Different Path, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Naruto leaped from building to building till he stopped at one spot where you could get a perfect view of the Hokage monument with all 4 heads of the Hokage's plaster right on it. Someday, Dad. Someday I'll join you right up there with you and no one is going to stop me, thought Naruto as he stood on top of the power line pole, as his eyes were now slightly filled with sorrow as he looked at his old man's shining face. Somehow his mind wandered back to those 3 people he killed just now back in the Uchiha district as he remembered King the First one by moving at a high speed, sword moving, cutting the man over 200 times before he fell apart. When he had confronted the last 2, he felt he needed to savor the moment as his revenge on the village and its inhabitants were not from spilling blood, but making them eat their words. The only real reason he killed them was because they wouldn't be able to stomach what they originally spat at him in the past. If anything, those 3 had received mercy kings in the way of death. So in his mind it was fine that he had paralyzed their boss with the Jaganai as he SD off the skin cells one after another off their boss with lightning speed and sly precision that he learned from Hiei and Kurama in Demon World. Once they were nothing more than boss with barely any skin, he SD them up quickly, moving from fingers to elbow to shoulders, from toes to ankles, to knees to legs and then the midsection and end before taking the heads and incinerating them with the fist of the mortal flame technique. In the end they deserved what they got, as they probably would have taken their own lives had they learned the truth, as guilt is the one true cure of this world, said Naruto to himself in a whisper. Hey, you are Uzumaki Naruto, right? Said a voice behind him, making the said boy draw his sword in less than a second. Identify yourself. If you don't, I will when I put what pieces I leave behind of you back together for identification, said Naruto as he had his fair share of assaults, beating, and other horrible things done to him to know that if they do not tell you that they are friendly instantly, then they are an enemy till something tell you otherwise. Easy. It's me, Mizuki. I am one of the Chunin teachers at the academy. I was called by some of the elders to find and relay a message to Lord Hiashi, so I didn't see your already talked about performance. However, it is quite the talk among the shinobi ranks, and it is truly interesting to have a child with such a unique king intent at your age. One would almost call it, said Mizuki, but was interrupted by Naruto. Unnatural. I already know you know about my tenant, Mizuki-sensei, as Iruka, and you were close to the area where the Kyuubi attacked. No need to beat around the bush when you think about it, said Naruto calmly before putting his sword away, slowly. Ah, so you know about it. I wasn't aware that you knew, as no one was supposed to tell you, but then again when you hear all the names people call you, it's not such a surprise that you would put 2 and 2 together. What if I told you there was a surefire way to get back at them all by doing something extremely dangerous that only you could pull off with my help? Said Mizuki, hoping that revenge would taste good to the fox demon boy's mouth. First off, what is this surefire way of a plan that you have? Secondly, since when do I need the help of anyone here in this village? Said Naruto as he nearly wrinkled his nose from the hate-filled stench the man had on him. You know as well as I do the Hokage can't keep the pressure from the elders off of you in regards to you holding the Kyuubi forever, Naruto. Eventually they will fully unify and overrule the Hokage on the matter in having you killed for crimes against Konoha. So I thought I could help you stick it in their face by taking something from them that they all hold dear to their heart. The Forbidden Scroll of Seals, said Mizuki, who was struggling from turn his face up with a sinister grin. Naruto fully well knew that this was a trap to set in up as the fall guy even before Mizuki mentioned Slade as the Kyuubi in the very beginning. Still, according to what Slade told him about the Forbidden Scroll of Seals, it contained knowledge only held by this village. Slade had already taught him everything that was on the scroll that he could, as Slade had developed a photographic memory in his time as a demon lord. Slade used it when the old man input into the scrolls as well as when he helped his father put his information into the scroll, thus seeing what the other Hokages had written as well. Plus his mother's bloodline helped cover the rest of the things his father saw that Slade might have missed. I'm listening. Keep talking, said Naruto as he intended to catch this soon-to-be traitor in his own trap before making one Morino Ibiki very happy with having to tee the man later on, if he was left alive that is. The scroll in itself is in Hokage's office as no one would dare enter to steal it from his own office as they would have to sneak by the ever-vigilant guards. They make sure that all who try to enter are killed or severely wounded on sight. Even if you do live, you're in the merciless hands of one of the 2T experts in Kohona's Leaf Village. The hard part one think for you will be the guards as they are trained Anbu level ninja who are top marks in all ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu. Think you can bust in and meet me at the old abandoned shack in the forest a good 2 to 3 miles north of the village, said Mizuki as he now believed he had Naruto in his clutches. Just tell me what time you want me to start, said Naruto smiling behind his mask as he preferred to keep it on so Mizuki wouldn't see him smile with his canines that now had become fangs exposed on his face. Tonight and preferably midnight when the shift changes, and meet me at the rendezvous point afterwards in about an hour later. The Hokage will have a late meeting with the clan elders as they need him for his wisdom on the matters they wish to speak about, so he won't be in his office when you take it, said Mizuki as he almost let his evil smile cover his mouth, but held it in just at the last second. See you at 1 a.m. then, said Naruto nodding his head as Mizuki left, knowing just how to manipulate this situation to his advantage when it was time to spring his trap on the traitor. Hyuga compound 1 hour later. Hinata had been escorted by her brother, as she called him Neji Hyuga, back home, though in truth her cousin from being her father's brother's side that was part of the branch family. Neji always had a scowl on his face, much like the Uchiha named Sasuke always did, as if they hated the world as it had wronged them in some way. She hated seeing him like this as she cared for him like she did with her 4 years younger sister Hanabi. However, it seemed her caring did more harm than good as it made Neji think she was taking pity on him, and in doing so in his eyes made her look spoiled. All because of the fact that she was of the Hyuga's main family and the heiress to becoming clan head when she reached the age required to be as such. Neji. IIH have a Q question for you, said Hinata as she tried not to stutter so much, though with the memory of Naruto's return to Kohona it was hard not to. What is it, Hinata? Said Neji as they approached her room, and he had noticed that even though during final year at the academy her stuttering gone down to non-existent, it had returned to more than what is considered noticeable to others. Did you be by any chance hear what happened at TDA Academy T today? Said Hinata as she was slightly worried that Neji, with his back still to her, had learned Naruto's secret, or that he learned that Naruto was in her father's good graces. Neji didn't answer for a moment as he thought back to earlier in the day when he went with Hiashi as a lookout for the clan head. All the while he was talking to the boy, a female Junin, accompanied by a strange man, orange-black clothing, covered with metal guards, and wearing a metal mask with only having one eye. Neji didn't know what the man was talking about with his uncle, but he was sure it was something else as Hiashi seemed to be having a very serious yet lively discussion with them. Neji had of course heard the rumors of what this Uzumaki Naruto did to most of the genin students in the graduation class at the Ninja Academy. He had picked it up from the ever so gossipy whispers of the people in the village. The students who graduated had of course told the parents, while their parents had told everyone else, creating an out-of-control rumor mill that you couldn't tell what the truth was and what was the fiction. I have heard rumors, as have you, as we returned home, though I am sure that you could tell me if you wanted what out of the rumors is true and what is a lie, said Neji as he turned to his side to look at her as if to see if she would tell him. I don't know much, as if fainted when he came over to talk to me in the C classroom. What part of the rumors do you wish to know true? Said Hinata, who now found herself pressing her fingers together out of habit and as a defense mechanism for these types of things. I don't want to know right now if that is your answer, Hinata, but if I have to find out about him for myself I will do it in the form of combat. Now go get some rest. I'll have one of the chiefs make you dinner and one of the servants bring it to your room, as it has been an exhausting day for you, said Neji as he walked away, planning on finding out what about this Uzumaki Naruto was true, what was a lie, and what he could do to the boy to break his cousin's spirit about changing herself that she had been for nearly a year. Hokage Tower meeting room. The Hokage was having another stress-filled day when he didn't need it on his old 60-plus-year-old should be retired, but forced back in heart. How is it that you can see Naruto as a threat just for sticking up for himself? Said Sarutobi as he hated meetings like this. The fact the boy has never done anything like this before, much less the fact that he was allowed to defend himself, proves it. He should be beaten on constantly so the fox knows its place inside of its new body and that if it will be assaulted at any moment's notice, said an old village elder who hated the fox and the boy it inhabited. It is that kind of talk that makes us worse than those we preach about fighting against that are enemies of our fire country's lords. You want us to become hypocrites, said the third Hokage, trying to undermine this elder's reasoning. It's better than being a type of village that houses a nine-tailed demon lord. The very same demon lord that killed your successor, no less, Lord Hokage. I'm surprised that you didn't try to kill the boy yourself, though I suppose being as old as you are has made you soft and a sympathizer of the demon, all because he has the body of a 12-year-old no less, said the man trying to remove favor from the Hokage. Be as it may, Naruto is a shinobi of the leaf now, whether the council likes it or not, and they cannot remove him from being a ninja. To do so you must have an authentic reason that is a legitimate one, and not because he has the demon locked inside of him. He is not the demon himself, despite what you may think, Goza, said Sarutobi, knowing the council would need to have a reason other than Slade being in him. I'm well aware of what it is you and I are thinking, Lord Hokage, which is why he is having Yamanaka Inoki take a look inside his head tomorrow to see if he is an unstable demon or not. If Naruto is unstable, not only will we have the authority to remove him from being a genin, but we will be allowed to have the boy killed by public execution as an order of the council to protect the village from whatever harm he may ensue upon the public, said Goza as he got full agreement from the other elders, save surprisingly and yet unsurprisingly Hiashi, who scowled at this news as he did not like this, even though he had originally favored the idea before he learned the truth. And what should happen should he pass with flying colors, Goza? What if he is as stable as I claim he is? Tell me what you plan to do then, said Sarutobi, fully knowing that if this little stunt of an examination didn't bear any fruit, then Goza would have a lot of crow to eat for criticizing the Hokage of Konoha. I will deal with that when the unlikely chance of that happens to me and the other elders here, but I can assure you it won't, said Goza, inwardly smiling as he was going to be rid of Uzumaki Naruto once and for all. The Hokage was about to talk more about how Goza was so sure when a scratch came at the door like an animal clawing on wood. Now frowning in curiosity, as were most of the elders in the room, the Hokage raised himself up from his chair to investigate. Sarutobi assumed it was just a messenger dog or another animal of that sort, or the Anbu outside would have made a noise. However, just because the Anbu didn't make a noise didn't mean all was well outside, so he slowly opened the door slightly to see who or what was making the noise. What in the world? Thought Sarutobi as he found all the Anbu had been knocked out cold. While sitting in front of the door with a scroll in hand was a fox with 3 tails, meaning it was a demon fox, a fox that had silver blue fur all around, and black tips on all 3 tails. The fox looked at the Hokage for a second before recognizing him as the man that he was supposed to speak to, and put down the scroll in front of the Hokage. Pardon me for my intrusion into your meeting, but I have a message scroll here for you, Lord Hokage. It's from the second master, who is the vessel for the first, said the fox, bowing his head little before walking away. It disappeared in a puff. The Hokage took the scroll left by the fox and read it slowly, frowning as he did so at the information it contained. So he's going to take it at midnight. I suspected that the teacher Mizuki was a traitor, but I couldn't force myself to arrest him due to lack of evidence. It would make me paranoid and I would lose whatever influence I have left on the council, thus lose what ground I have in protecting Naruto. Though from the looks of things the boy can protect himself quite nicely, thought the Hokage before rolling it up and putting it in his robes before addressing the council. What was that, Lord Hokage? Said Hiashi, who was curious as the rest of them. Just a messenger telling me about an old friend coming to visit me after so long, lied the Hokage as they sat down to conclude business before the events later at night took place. Streets of Konoha. Naruto had some time to kill before the supposed heist of the scrolls, so he decided to walk around the village a little more to see what had changed. Much with the village's hatred of him, nothing much had changed, as word had gotten around that the demon boy had returned with a mean vengeance, as multiple rumors of him doing something foul at the academy spread like wildfire. I hear he mutilated one of the teachers and 3 of the students, said one man to his wife in a whisper, who with shocked eyes tried to protect herself in some way, as if the mere look that Naruto could give her would be able to strike her down. I hear he defiled one of the female ninja and is now carrying his demonic offspring, said one villager, looking at Naruto with hate and disgust. Fools. If it wasn't for the fact I want to make my father proud, I would tear all of them apart. If my father saw this, he would have let Slade run right through here no problem, thought Naruto, deciding to go to his only refuge at night, that was Ichiraku ramen stand. As Naruto walked, he heard something that sounded like giggling of a schoolgirl, but that made no sense to him. It was in a way surprising, to say the least, that any girl would be even remotely interested in him at all, with the exception being Hinata, as he had assumed all the kids near and around his age of both genders were told to stay away from him. It was when he stopped once again when he heard girls giggling, and lots of it. Frowning, he turned around curiously at the direction of the giggling that turned into high-pitched girly squeals that hurting his ears, that were slightly pointed now due to Slade's improvements. It's him. It's Naruto-kun, yelled a girl with a heart in one eye and a star in the other, meaning one thing: a fangirl. As Naruto grew up, he learned two things about fangirls that nearly threw themselves at the Sasuke. That was, they kiss you when they love you and punch you when they hate you. A lot. Oh no. I like Hinata, I don't need this crap breathing down my n. Thought Naruto as he took off with all the speed his legs could handle, as the entire army of Naruto-loving fangirls tried to catch up with him. Some of them even being from the previous graduating class, as some of them were in ninja gear, breaking ahead of the fangirl group. My Naruto, you've become quite popular with the lass. I guess that one rumor about being a stud with defiling that one ninja female altered itself into something else. Either that, or they found out how you were sweet and charming to Hinata and want you for themselves, thought Dragona as she laughed at the boy's problem, but inside her own mind she was slightly worried this could erode any and all ties to the Hyuga girl, as the girl, no matter how sweet, could become jealous at best, but also vengeful at her vessel if worst came to worst, and Hinata blamed it on Naruto. Well, what do you think I should do, Dragona? Thought Naruto as he really didn't want to be caught by them as he headed for his little ramen sanctuary, on the other side of the damn village. Just do what you are doing, Naruto. Unlike you, they don't have your stamina, so they will tire out soon. The female genin from last year will as well, though that may make them try again later and give them all the more incentive to try to have you for their own devices, said Dragona, as she had always found that a male with lots and lots of stamina to be one of a woman's high qualities of attractiveness that they seek. Naruto ran as fast as he could with his weights on that would now accumulate to be over 6,000 pounds altogether. It wasn't long before Naruto escaped from every and all fangirls eating his dust. All of them shocked that the boy could run as fast as he did, leaving them behind. Within less than 5 seconds, Naruto had made it to Ichiraku's ramen stand, slightly exhausted at using that much speed with weights on. Hey old man, I'm back, said Naruto as he sat down on a stool at the counter, panting while he was sweating slightly from the front of his mask that he slowly removed from his face. To say that the owner of the stand, Tsuki, was surprised was an understatement, as he had heard so many rumors about the boy. 3 of the rumors saying the said boy had SD from reasons unknown. Naruto, it is you. I'm so glad you're back. I'm giving you some miso ramen on the house, said Tsuki, starting to work on the order already, while Ayami took one look at the boy and blushed slightly at the fact that he had changed into something that was of every young girl's dream. Thanks, old man, but keep it light. I have to cut back on my ramen consumption for a little while, said Naruto, making the poor man's eye bulge out of their sockets and his daughter gasp at such words. But Naruto, why would you have to do that? Said Ayami, as she and her father knew all too well that it was because of Naruto and his stomach that they had even survived as long as they did with all the competing restaurants in the city. It's not your fault, Ayami-chan, it's just, well, I found out that by eating mostly, if not only ramen for most of my life, stunted my growth and was one of many things that resulted in me being malnourished in the first place. Slade-sensei did say I can eat ramen once in a while, but I should balance it out with healthy things like fruit and vegetables in order to make sure I don't have any more problems in that area. Sorry, said Naruto, who put his head down slightly, thinking they would kick him out now and call him a demon now that he could no longer help their business stay afloat like before. Don't look so down, Naruto, it's expected you would have to consume less ramen as you got older. In fact, I was going to add fruit and vegetables as a side dish to your ramen free of charge had you not grown this year. Look at you now. You're almost as tall as that kid with glasses who walks by here sometimes. I believe Shino was his name if I remember correctly, said Ayami as she recalled the serious-looking boy with glass and oversized coat, making him unreadable in terms of emotions. Really? Said Naruto, surprised at this news that someone other than him at his age went here to eat ramen. Yeah. Not only that, but earlier today 2 boys from this year's graduation exam came here asking about you. One looked lazy while the other looked, well, let's just call him big boned as it would be cruel to call him anything else. They asked if this was the place you always came to when you were hungry and I told them yes. They asked both me and Ayami a whole bunch of questions about you in wondering what you were like before you left Kohono for nearly a whole year. I told them what I knew and served them both ramen, which the big-boned one ate with gusto. After they paid they left with the lazy one saying something about you being troublesome, I believe was the word he used, said Tuki handing Naruto his bowl with a side of freshly SD apples. Lazy guy and big-boned huh. I think I know them. I think the lazy one is supposed to be some sort of genius, but he does as much movement as a turtle does when walking and with equal amount of sleeping. I think I heard his name in class when Iruka-sensei was in class announcing the students who graduated. I think his name is Nara Shikamaru. The big-boned kid I think is Akamaiki Choji and both he and Shikamaru are both from clans with different bloodline limits, said Naruto wondering why those 2 guys his age were so interested with him as he ate his bowl of ramen and the apple SS on the side dish. Well, I'm sure they didn't mean it in any way bad, Naruto. I think they wanted to be your friend from the way they asked their questions, said Ayami trying to make the situation more optimistic for Naruto as she could see the depression written all over his face. Maybe you are right, Ayami-chan. Oh crap. I have to go, I have some important things to do. Bye old man. Bye Ayami-chan, said Naruto as he finished his meal in a hurry and put his mask up around his face before leaving an after image on the stool. Hokage's Tower Midnight. Naruto knew the Hokage got the scroll he sent with one of his demon foxes he summoned earlier to give to the old man. If he hadn't, then his demon fox would have just puffed next to him telling him it was no go. Since no fox had shown up in such a way, it meant that everything was a go. Time to get to work and put my plan into action, said Naruto in a whisper, moving through the dark corridors of the Hokage Tower till he saw the Anbu there rotating out with the Hokage entering his office for some last-minute things telling him not to disturb him in the slightest. Channeling chakra to his hands and feet, Naruto crawled on the ceiling of the corridor using the darkness of the area and his clothes to his advantage. He was now above the oblivious Anbu guards' heads, not sensing the chakra that had been used to scale the ceiling above them. Why? Naruto had used a fox illusion genjutsu that masks one's chakra for a brief amount of time till it was dispelled by the user when it was no longer needed. Naruto then went into his suit and took out 2 small seeds and let them fall to the ground beside each guard, making a small noise just loud enough for the Anbu to hear and look down. Got you suckers, thought Naruto as he activated the chakra he put into the seeds, covering the 2 guards with thorn-covered vines that when LD the Anbu uniforms were sedated with a powerful serum, knocking the 2 into unconsciousness held by the vines almost immediately. Naruto walked past the unconscious limp guards, knocked twice before entering, and saw a now smiling Hokage who caught a glimpse of one of the Anbu guards. Aside from the fact that you took out 2 Anbu in an unnatural way, Naruto, I have to say that was in itself pretty impressive, said Sarutobi, handing Naruto the large scroll that was marked forbidden, but was in fact a cage-level genjutsu covered scroll covering basic in using shinobi medicine. Thanks old man for trusting me this far. Now for one final part of the plan must happen to make this seem perfect. I have to knock you out, and it has to be believable that Uzumaki Naruto did it and not some other guy in a dark ninja suit, said Naruto as he had made this one at the behest of Dragona to help bash and identify future perverts in and outside of Kohono. Oh, what did you have in mind, Naruto? Said Sarutobi as his anti-prankster senses that had not been active in nearly a year came on, sounding like a gong from a gong bell. This Seijutsu, said Naruto, turning into a blonde, black, and red-headed woman with shapely curves and smoke covering the most private areas. By the time the Hokage would even register what had just happened, it would be a half an hour from now, with tissue paper up his nose to block blood from leaving it. Whoops. I think I overdid it. Ha. Thought Naruto as he took the so-called forbidden scroll and took off through the window he had opened before leaping out the window to the roof in front of him, 15 stories down and 100 feet away. Crunch was the sound of Naruto landing in an crane fighting style landing form on the tiles of the roof before he took off to his destination in a quick sprint towards it. KOHONA 30 minutes later. The Hokage was awakened from his unconsciousness by the shaking of his body by an Anbu ninja in a wolf mask. Lord Hokage, are you all right? Are you hurt, sir? Said the wolf-masked Anbu worriedly as the trail of blood leading to a knocked-out Hokage was not a good sign. Yes, thank you. However, we have more important things to worry about than my old health. Gather what Chunin and Junin you can that are still awake immediately. Said Sarutobi getting a nod from the Anbu before he went, poof, from his sight while he clogged his bloody nose with tissue paper. This better work or the council will have all the reason it needs to K Naruto, thought the Hokage as there were so many ways this could go wrong as he went to his crystal ball for answers. Kohono Forest area 30 minutes later. Yumi no Iruka had been up that night unable to sleep as he recalled the events that had happened earlier with Naruto. That and how several parents complained to him later in the day about making Naruto a ninja of the leaf when he was a demon. Iruka had to try and explain to them in a non-threatening voice yet serious all the same voice that Naruto had passed last year due to a lack of effort in properly grading his tests. That and the only reason he became it officially this year was he was away on an important mission by the Hokage himself. Boy had the aftermath of my words create a headache, thought Iruka sighing as he had been forced into actually threatening the parents by telling them that by breaking the S-class law surrounding the boy he would report it to the Hokage to have them all executed if they didn't leave his office soon after. Shortly after he had gone home an Anbu in a monkey mask told him to see the Hokage about something involving Naruto and that he stole something of vital importance from his office. It was then revealed to the Chunin and Junin there what really had happened with Mizuki trying to get the scroll and how Naruto had planned to nip Mizuki's act of betrayal in the bud. Now Iruka was running through the woods within the section of the forest that the Hokage told him to go as the leader of the village didn't trust any of the others from the way their eyes became cold at the sound of Naruto's name. Iruka, this is very important and I am counting on you to watch over Naruto as if you were his actual family that he never had. Should something go wrong that even Naruto can't handle, I want you to intervene to give him the chance to succeed. Even at the cost of your own life should it come to that, with the echoed words of the third Hokage in his head as he leaped to his destination. He had just finished reaching it when Mizuki showed up in a nearby tree, but thanks to several trees in front of the traitorous Chunin it was not possible for him to see Iruka. That and he secretly lowered his chakra signature to near below genin level till he felt he would be needed so he could raise to his highest to help Naruto. Mizuki finally leaped down from his tree carrying two large shuriken throwing stars on his back. You got the scroll, I see. Excellent work Naruto, you will become strong like me when we get out of here and use the scroll's knowledge to become the strongest of shinobi, said Mizuki as he walked over to the boy smiling his evil smile that made Iruka want to puke in disgust. Perhaps it would, Mizuki-san. Though it would be hard for you to escape when you are nothing more than a rotting corpse, said Naruto throwing the scroll aside and took out his sword. What? We had a deal, you backspring demon brat, said Mizuki taking out one of his two large shuriken from behind him ready to use. This coming from someone who tried to backs Kohono, its ninja, its people, and far more importantly betray me. Said Naruto as his eyes were no longer blue, but had now become that of a fox's with orange-like eyes and he lifted up his ninja headband and tore off the black headband STS on his head dissolving into nothing as his Jagan eye was now opened and had become exposed once more to the world. That eye is not natural. What is that? Said Mizuki as the way it stared at him made him feel really uncomfortable and on edge at the moment as was Iruka from his hiding spot as he couldn't help but shudder himself at seeing the edge of the eye. This is what is called the Jagan eye. You see, I went to Demon World and met a few friends of you all of my tenant, and after explaining a few things they were glad to help me become stronger. This is part of that, said Naruto calling mentally in his mind for a dragon to come to his sword, which one gladly heard and obeyed instantly. Then you are a demon. Just as we always thought. That's good because even if I turn traitor I will be praised as the ninja who killed the Kyuubi when those fools of Hokages both third and fourth couldn't. The council will beg me to take the old man's place when I present your corpse to them, said Mizuki as he now acted on instinct and threw the first giant shuriken at Naruto with all his strength put into it aimed directly at the boy. The shuriken itself stopped 2 feet in front of Naruto and hovered in midair while still spinning as it did, shocking both Mizuki and Iruka. You can't even touch me with your little toys. Let's see how I fare with them, said Naruto as his eye glowed a rainbow-like color before the shuriken as if by Naruto's thoughts was sent back to Mizuki hitting his left side in the shoulder piercing through his Chunin vest and into this several the muscle tissue there making the shoulder unusable. You are not Not normal. You are a monster and, all monsters, just like, you deserve to, said Mizuki taking his last shuriken and threw it at Naruto, doubting the boy could do that again. Honestly, how you ever became a chunin is beyond me, Mizuki. You're attacker genin at best and villager tactic at worst. Perhaps you had to surely please the instructors in some way during the exams at the time in exchange for such a TLE. Said Naruto, smiling beyond his mask as he stopped this giant shuriken before sending into Mizuki's right arm with the same exact force as the previous one, peeling the man for life. I'll get you for this, you demon fox, said Mizuki as he was now heavily bleeding out of his mouth along with his shoulders with his arm dangling at his sides. Wrong, Mizuki. You are a disgrace as well as embarrassment to this village, its people, and the ninjas within its ranks. I'm going to make sure that no one has to see your ugly face ever again, said Naruto as held the man in place with his Jaganai's powers while slashing Mizuki repeatedly with his sword till his upper body was covered in scar marks forever burned into his body before he put away his sword and dispelling the dragon after thanking it for its assistance. I thought you were going to K me. Not stare at me with that ugly third eye of yours to death, said Mizuki, smiling and laughed, thinking Naruto was buffing and going to hand him over to the other ninja where he would claim that it was Naruto's idea to steal the forbidden scroll and how the boy used a strange demonic genjutsu on him to be his puppet. Are you calling me a lair? I put my sword away so I could remove the bandages from my right arm. So I can show you the means of your death, said Naruto coldly as he lifted up his right arm sleeve, revealing a piece of parchment with the word seal on it before tearing it off. What's Naruto doing? Thought Iruka as he felt something sinister behind that arm, and to make matter worse, the Jaganai on Naruto's head was glowing with a dark color around the inner part of the eye. Immediately Naruto's entire right arm is covered in a thick, dark, and evil-looking flame that made Iruka want to run home, hide in his closet, find his long-lost stuffed teddy bear, and sucked on his thumb as he cried for his mommy. What is that thing? Yelled Mizuki as his fear of what was before blocked off all pain in his body as Naruto just smiled at him as the flame and his now visible chakra swirled around him as he took 5 steps back from Mizuki. You insulted the Jaganai, Mizuki. That's not smart at all. That's not something even I would do. The Jaganai, though attached to me, has a mind of its own, and what it wants it gets when it comes to combat and king someone. Now feel the power of the one of my most devastating attacks. Dragon of the Darkness Flame. Yelled out Naruto as he shot out a large dark dragon out of his arm towards Mizuki, who could only look on to his horror at the beast coming at him with lifeless and soulless eyes. Screamed Mizuki as the attack incinerated him, went through him, and then went through a solid chink of the forest, burning the area down before Naruto cut off the attack by lowering his chakra to normal. I hate doing that as I have to find a tailor to fix my clothing, said Naruto to himself as the only thing that remained on Naruto in that part of his right arm was his weight that were protected by the seal of the demon, by Slade. Naruto, said Iruka, jumping down from the tree that was his hiding spot, glad he was not closer or else he would have been more cooked than barbecued chicken at the Akamaiki's house. Hey Iruka sensei. Sorry if I overdid it, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Don't worry about my right arm, Dragonis says that's how it's supposed to look, said a slightly tired Naruto as he had never used one of his dragons to such a level even when training with Hiei with just his chakra. Dragona. Who's that? Said Iruka, though he had a feeling that this was bad news that the elders would not like to hear about. She's my second tenant, like Slade is, or as you know him as QB. Slade told me that the old man told you about him and what happened all those years back. Second tenant, said Iruka, as it was bad enough Naruto had one beast inside of him, but he had 2 now inside of him. Yeah, she's really nice to me. Come on, I'll tell you on the way back to the village. It is not as bad as it sounds, Iruka-sensei, said Naruto as he closed his Jaganai, put on his ninja headband over his forehead, and picked up the genjutsu-covered medical scroll. Why do I get the feeling I'm going to wish I had taken a bad beating after this? Thought a slightly disturbed Iruka as they walked back as they were, while Naruto took out a pair of bandages and wrapped them around his arm, attaching the parchment seal to it. Kohona Hokage's tower. 20 minutes later. The Hokage had put away his crystal ball long after the one-sided fight, if not considered painful, execution of Mizuki was over. He had nearly pissed himself when the dragon that Naruto used came out King Mizuki and leaving no traces or remains of the traitor. And now Naruto is coming back here with Iruka. This is going to get nasty, as the shinobi and village elders will want to push the mental and physical examination up to tonight. The only downside to tonight was giving Naruto zero time to prepare to try and hide his less-than-human abilities. Hopefully Naruto can conceal them in time before it's too late to stop the elders from jumping to conclusion. The Jaganai he can without question, but the right arm is another matter. That in itself may lead to the Jaganai, which will no doubt give the elders reasons to KO or exile the boy, thought Sarutobi as he took a drag from his pipe, as it helped calm his nerves that desperately needed it. About 15 minutes later Naruto came into the Hokage's office with a pale-looking Iruka who looked ready to puke his guts out. Not surprising from the explanation he got from Naruto about his second tenant, and the Jaganai being implanted without sedatives or painkillers of any kind to suppress the pain. "Hey old man, how is everything? Got your scroll back, so don't worry," said Naruto, being his old humorous self once more as he had thrown the scroll to the Hokage, who caught it easily. "I'm fine, Naruto, and as for knocking me out, I think I'll make that a forbidden jutsu to be added to the scroll later on," said the Hokage, who got a look of curiosity from Iruka, who in return had glanced back at the Chunin teacher with a look of his own that said, "I'll explain later, so keep your mouth shut," in his eyes. "Oh come on old man. You know it's the perfect for being a pervert detector and bashing technique that has ever created, so why remove it? Unless you don't want anyone around you to know you are an old pervert, do you?" said Naruto, pointing a finger at the Hokage, who grumbled and pulled down his hat in shame and embarrassment, as it was true. "All things aside on that subject, I have some bad news, Naruto. The elders came in to visit me in my office 10 minutes ago and stepped up your physical and mental examinations to tonight to start almost as soon as you came into my office," said the Hokage as he sensed the chakra signatures of some of the elders, Yamanaka and Noiki, and another signature he couldn't recognize as he never had this person in his office before. "Lord Hokage, we are here with both Yamanaka and Noiki for the mental exam, along with Inuzuka Hana for the physical exam to see if the boy has any irregularities in him," said the elder Goza, who glared at Naruto, who in turn glared back at the man and at Inuzuka Hana for her past discretions towards him with her dogs. "Let's get this over with. I have things to do other than be around here filled with hatred-filled idiots who can't tell their own head from their ass," said Naruto, earning a growl from Hana, mouse eyes from Inoiki, and glares from the other elders in the room. "Why you little," said an elder ready to take out a kunai and K the boy himself, but was stopped by a daring look by Iruka, who would be damned if the boy had to do this alone. "Enough. We'll start with the physical in the room I have prepared down the hall. Only Inuzuka Hana and Uzumaki Naruto may enter, as I want no outside party involved with this examination to possibly contaminate it," said Sarutobi as he did this to make sure that there was no foul play involved from the elders. "Can someone explain to me why a vet has to look at me when it should be a full-fledged doctor that actually knows what he or she is doing?" said Naruto, as the situation didn't make sense. Inuzuka Hana is a sked veterinarian boy, who has dealt with animals as well as certain other animal-related incidents that involve humans, and since she can examine your body for irregularities with her dog-like senses, that would make you seem unnatural, said the one of the elders, sneering at the boy, only to be quieted by Naruto's piercing glare that had flashed a brief orange-red eyes at the old man. "Fine. But I'm not taking off my pants for some bee-hound like her," Hana growls. "She wants to examine my body, she has to deal with the upper half, or else I walk. I draw the line at female perverts," said Naruto, as he would never forgive the woman for sending her dogs on him, while the said woman now snarled at him for his remarks at her being a pervert and a bee-hound. "Like I care to see what's down there, kid. You are probably underdeveloped anyway in that region," said Hana, smirking at questioning his manhood, only to lose her smile when Naruto unleashed cur intent at her that made her quiver in fear of him, as it was so high and had never felt anything like it before. "Keep talking like that, I'll make sure you can never bear children in your lifetime," said Naruto, itching for his sword, while both Dragona and Slade in his head told him to calm down, as they needed to make sure that no unnecessary blood was spilled in this physical examination. "Both of you stop it. Naruto will expect no bloodshed from you or from your examiner, and any blood spilled will be dealt with strict punishment," said the Hokage, as he was not having any conflict happen so late at night in his office. Agreed. Let's get this over with, but know this, she so much as looks at me funny'll burn her body, place her ashes in an urn, and deliver the urn personsonally to her family's doorstep, said Naruto, heading to the indicated room with a now very reluctant Inuzuka Hana behind him with worried-looking elders, as they had never seen or heard of the boy being this angry before till recently, and started wondering if they could take him should he become violent. They concluded that they couldn't, and now prayed to themselves that he wouldn't be, or they would be royally screwed. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.